Look, nobody wants to ever need this kind of information, right? But being prepared when you're a pet owner, it can literally make all the difference in the world. So today, we're going to break down how to figure out if your pet is having a real emergency and give you a clear, step-by-step plan for what is, let's be honest, a super stressful situation.
Okay, so here's the question that just makes your stomach drop. Your dog is acting weird, your cat isn't right. What do you do? Is this something you can just wait and see on, or is this a drop everything and run kind of moment? And that feeling, that pit in your stomach when you don't know what to do, it's the worst. But the key is to replace that panic with a plan. It's all about having a logical process so you can make the absolute best call for your furry family member. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to walk through this fantastic tool designed by an expert, which is all about turning that panic into a clear, decisive plan of action. And listen, this isn't just some random advice you'd find on a forum, okay? This flowchart was designed by a veterinary technician with over 15 years of hands-on, in-the-trenches experience in emergency situations. So you can think of it as getting a direct line into an expert's brain when you need it most. Okay, so where do you even begin? Well, this tool cuts right through the noise and gets straight to the one, the only, question that matters first. This is the foundation for everything that comes next. This is it. This is your ground zero. Is your pet conscious? Can you rouse them? Are they breathing like they normally do, or is it ragged, or fast, or super shallow? This single question is going to determine your very next move. And look, there is zero gray area here. If the answer is no, if your pet is unconscious or not breathing right, just stop. Stop everything you're doing. This is the literal definition of a life-threatening emergency, and every single second counts. Get to an emergency vet now. Okay, so if the answer is yes, if they are conscious and their breathing seems okay, you can let out that breath you were holding, just for a second. It doesn't mean everything's fine, but it does mean we have a moment to assess things a bit more closely. So let's move to the next step. All right, now we're getting into what this flowchart calls the red zone, and you should think of this exactly like it sounds. These are the 5-alarm fire symptoms. Even if your pet is conscious, these signs mean it's a critical, time-sensitive emergency. So what are we looking for here? We're talking about things like struggling to breathe, having an active seizure, or they've just collapsed. Go look at their gums right now. If they're pale or white or kind of bluish, that's a huge red flag for a circulation problem. A bloated, hard belly can be a sign of a really deadly condition. And not being able to pee, that is life-threatening, especially for male cats. Any one of these is a code red. The bottom line is this: if you see even one of these red zone symptoms, the decision is already made. Don't second guess it. Your pet needs a vet immediately. The best advice is to call the ER while you're on the way so their team can be ready for you when you walk in the door. Okay, so what if you've checked and you're not seeing any of those terrifying red zone signs? This is where things get a little more nuanced, right? We're moving into what are called the orange and yellow zones, which help us figure out the difference between needs to be seen soon and okay to watch at home. The way to think about it is pretty simple, but it's super important. Orange zone, your pet is definitely sick or hurt, but they're stable. Yellow zone, they're mostly acting like themselves, but something's just off. So what kind of things land you in this orange zone? Well, think about stuff like they've thrown up or had diarrhea more than once. They're suddenly limping, or maybe they just haven't eaten anything in 24 hours. These aren't immediately life-threatening like the red zone stuff, but they absolutely need a professional to weigh in. For any of these orange zone signs, the game plan is really clear. You need to call your vet today. And if your regular vet is closed for the day, call the local emergency clinic. They can give you advice on whether you need to come in right away or if it can wait till morning. And that brings us to our last category, the yellow zone. This is for when your pet is still doing all the normal stuff, eating, drinking, going to the bathroom, but they're just not 100%. Maybe they threw up once, but then ate their dinner just fine. They just seem a little off. In this situation, your best move is just to watch and wait. Keep them quiet, keep a super close eye on them, and maybe jot down some notes about their symptoms. If things get worse or something new pops up, well, then you just bump them up to the orange zone and you make that call to the vet. So when you pull back and look at all of this, what's the real takeaway? It's that you don't have to be powerless in that moment of fear. You have a tool. You have a plan. Honestly, you can boil this whole thing down to 3 super simple steps. Seriously. 1, check breathing and consciousness. That's your first big decision point. 2,
If they pass that test, look for any of those big, scary red zone signs. And 3, and this is the most important one, when in doubt, just call a professional. And that really is the golden rule through all of this. This whole guide, it's an amazing tool to help you think clearly. But it can't ever replace your gut feeling. You know your pet better than anyone on this planet. If you feel deep down that something is wrong, trust that instinct. Make the call. This tool is just here to give you the confidence to do it.